All right, gang, let's play catch up here. Just finished turn 12, so we're beyond the halfway point. And a couple of dramatic changes. Well, you can see the casualties. Okay. A lot of British para right there. Sorry about that. And quite a few SS and 21st Panzer, too. So, para is almost gone. They're down to those 4 out of supply stacks. Got just enough units over there from the Germans to sort of just keep them occupied, or just to finish them off, I guess. And at the same time, keep that Pegasus Bridge closed. I don't know what this bridge up here is, unless that's the Horsa Bridge. I've got to keep that thing closed too. All right, so what's happened is the para fought this turn, and they did a little damage to one of the infantry divisions. But there's just nothing left of them. Probably won't waste any more command points on them unless some strange thing happens and they get across that river, which I'm not seeing that happening because they're almost done over here. And then the Germans can just stack up on that river there. And like I say, you can't cross those anywhere but at the bridges. So I decided it's time to pull back to Caen, and we pulled the SS, 21st Panzer, and some of Panzer Lehr back in there. Some good, strong units in Caen with all the artillery behind them. And I think on the next turn, they'll start getting more command points. So they'll be able to, if I need to build some attacks, excuse me, they'll be able to do that. Pulled everything out in front of the Canadians here. And pulled everything out in front of the 50th ID and the 51st, because the 51st is getting the rest. Here come their mobile units, and here comes the rest of their infantry division. And then, of course, another brigade has come on for the Brits. They're going to hit right towards the middle. So there's gonna be a fight in Caen. So I've started to pull the Germans back all along the front. There's just not they've got strong units, but they just don't have enough to cover all of this front. So the first line is going to be along whatever freaking river that is. You can see I'm already starting to pull them back there. Some units couldn't quite stretch that far. So, they're Tigers and Panthers. They're trying to get back there. And I guess if that fails, then they'll pull back to that river there, coming out of Caen there. So the deal is, all right, so the Allies get 2 victory points for getting an entire battalion off of one of these entry hexes, and that entry hex for the Germans being in supply at the end of the game, in British supply. So they get 2 victory points for that. They get 1 for every star hex, which you can see where I have those dice. Those are star hex. And I haven't been able to count them up, but I think outside of Caen, in this whole area on this side of the river, I don't know, there might be 10 or 12, on the whole map. But they also lose a point for every one of these strong points that is still on the map. And I was looking at the rules, and they have to get, I don't know, it's quite a few, because I know it was like 0 to 8 points is a German victory, and then there's the next gap is a draw, and then there's an Allied victory. So they're going to have to bust across there. They're going to have to go clear out. They're going to have to go clear out these strong points in here. They got to get rid of them, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 points right there they'll lose. Okay? Go up the coast, and there are still over here to the west, which they'll probably go here soon. They'll get cut off. There's 2 more up here. So there's 8 total negative points on the map for them. So the Brits are going to have to push hard. All right, so we've got 7th Armored. Their last couple, they still got a few more stacks to come on. But they're right there at that spearhead. and then they got some units there, and they've got some more stacks to come on. So somebody is going to have to get across this river somewhere down here. I'm pretty sure they can't move down and get across with the German units that are sitting there because it'll be too many movement points. But they're going to have to go really, really hard. And truthfully, even crossing that river, I don't think that's the answer. But I'm going to keep driving with the 50th and the 51st. And you got some commando units over here. They can go take some victory points. And probably we can get that battalion off the map in one of those reinforcement entry hexes down there and get those 2 points for that. But you only get one, So I think what has to happen now is let's backtrack up here to where the Canadians are. I think that the 3rd Canadian, the commando units, and the 3rd British, they're going to have to just go after Caen pell-mell. They're going to have to take Caen, probably take all of these stars on this side of the river. But then they're going to have to get across the Pegasus Bridge somehow. So I'm going to have to focus probably all the naval that can hit it, and then 2 air strikes every turn to try to clear this hex out. And, going to have to get some good rolls to do it. I mean, they're sitting in the clear, so they're not getting any benefits there. And then get across this river and eliminate these strong points. Now, the dilemma is if they don't get across on this next turn, the Germans, you see these 21st Panzer guys over here, and then 2 infantry divisions, then they're probably not going to get rid of Para on the next turn, but they're going to free up a lot of their units, and they'll be able to stack up behind this crossing right here. And this crossing up here is going to get all these infantry units in behind it. So, all right, so the focus is going to be Caen and getting across this river, which I'm sure was a focus anyhow during the historical fight. So we're going to start massing everything the Brits have, all right? Bringing that infantry brigade up. I think that's all of them. Could be wrong. No, that's the 49th British Infantry Division. So that's one of their, I think that's one of their brigades, 1 or 2 of their brigades. All right, the Canadians are going to have to move. 3rd Infantry is going to have to move. They're going to start getting more command points too. So probably the commandos over here, or I'm going to have to shift maybe 51st Infantry Division, all the red guys here, and there's some more over here. Probably have to pull them back to the east and get them in the fray, and maybe even 7th Armored. 7th Armored, I'm sure, is not going to fight in Caen, but they're going to have to find a way to get across. This river here, the Germans get behind that, it's going to be deadly. If they get behind that and they hold Caen and keep the British on the west side of this river, and they keep those strong points, I don't see how the Commonwealth can win this battle on these 2 maps, this scenario on these 2 maps. All right, so I'm open for suggestions. You've seen the layout. I'm open for suggestions here on what to do. I mean, I'm going to have to just, like I say, literally pell-mell into the German lines to try to break something up. I got to get across somehow. It's amazing the defense that this river boundary can provide for the Germans. And I think they've done actually a pretty good job of holding on in front of Caen. And they probably could have held on. I could probably held on some more, but I thought to myself, these airstrikes coming in, hitting these Tigers and these Panthers and these Mach 4s out in the open, that's too risky. I got to get them. I had to pull them back into cover. And maybe, depending on what the Germans get in reinforcements, they still got quite a few reinforcements to come in, is maybe getting them off of that line in the city into positions where they can counterattack. So I'll start thinking over that. Like I said, we've got 10 more turns to go. This is getting interesting. And my enthusiasm for this game is still pretty strong. I didn't get a chance to play last night. I was pretty burnt out. So, I hope to knock out a couple turns this weekend too. All right. So, hey, the deal. If you like this stuff, give me a thumbs up on it. Hit that subscribe button and hit notify. That way you keep up to date when I post one of these things. I got something new coming up with the holidays coming in, and this being a particular month that had a major fight back in World War II that started this month. I'm going to be doing something on that. And I hope to post that gameplay on a daily basis in accordance with the days of the campaign. So whatever day I play, I'm going to release that game turns play on that day. Probably like 6 o'clock that morning, so Eastern time. All right. So like I said, if anybody's got any comments, any tips, any suggestions, hit me with them. And because now I really need them. Give me a little, maybe somebody's got some good tactical knowledge out there that I can apply to this offensive. All right, gang. We'll talk to you all soon. Let's get this posted.